Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned into Attention to Orders. I'm your host, Big Sarge. All my Vietnam veterans, welcome home. Germany, good night. All my active duty military personnel that's downrange, good night. It is now time for Big Sarge's Article 15. Come get this work on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm out. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Tuning into the Attention Orders podcast. I'm your host, Big Sarge. On today, so I put out something a little bit early. Well, first, before I even get started, let me send my condolences to the family of former Georgetown Hoyas basketball coach, Georgetown University basketball coach, John Thompson. Found out this morning that he passed away, so his family has my condolences. And so that makes John Thompson, Chadwick Boseman, Lute Olson, and Cliff Robinson people we've lost in a 4-day span. And so I want to make sure that I send my condolences out to all of those families. One of the names that I mentioned is the reason why I am here. Some of you all seen earlier that I put up that I had some things that I needed to get off my chest, and I'm going to take this opportunity to be able to do it. I'm not going to hold you up long. I know that there's a huge conglomerate of Houston Rockets fans that watch me and follow me, and I know that the game is getting ready to come on here pretty soon, so I won't take up a lot of your time, but I had to come on here and I had to say this. On Friday, I came on and I told you all how the death of Chadwick Boseman affected me. And it has been spinning my wheels and opening my eyes to a lot of things here lately. It has been spinning my wheels and opening up my eyes to a lot of things that I don't want to say that I was oblivious to, but I just wasn't paying attention to. And it's sad that it took his death in order for me to open my eyes and shift my focus and say, wait a minute, this has been going on all along, the whole time. And even though you made mention about it, it has to be said again. And this time, not only can you just say it, but you're going to have to put actions to words. And so I'm coming here to tell you all that I will no longer be a colon cancer ambassador for a certain organization, nor will I be a part of the other two major colon cancer nonprofit organizations. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want it to make it sound like I'm bitter. But I will no longer be a part of those organizations. And what I mean by not be a part of it is not that I don't think that the message is, I don't think that I'm not saying they don't have a good message. I just don't like the way that their message is being portrayed to my community. After Chadwick Boseman passed away on Friday, I started to notice a lot of things, and it made me go back and say, wait a minute, B, do some research, Sarge. Sarge, you got to do some research. You got to go look. You got to do some research. And I said, okay, I'm going to go do some research because I thought maybe within the last two years, some things may have changed, and some things have not changed. And I'm going to tell you what pissed me off what pissed me off and upset me to the fullest and made me decide to do this after speaking with some people. I can't sit back and allow you to use Chadwick Boseman's death as a marketing tool. I can't sit back and allow you to use Chadwick Boseman's death as a donation drive. I started seeing all this hashtag Chadwick Boseman, hashtag Wakanda Forever, hashtag Black Panther. And I said to myself, Chadwick Boseman played prominent roles in Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and King T'Challa in the Black Panther. Yet if you go on some of these, the top 3 main organizations, it ain't nobody that look like Chadwick Boseman on there. It ain't nobody that looks like King T'Challa on there. And I kept saying to myself, how are you using an African-American male when there is no African-American males on your board of trustees and there's no African-American males on your staff? How could I sit back and say that I am an ambassador for colon cancer? I'm someone who advocates for colon cancer using your organization or through your organization, and you don't even have anybody on there that looks like me. And you're telling me that we're working towards it, but your organizations have been up for years, and you still have nothing. Through the pipeline, right? Through the pipeline, I found something out. One of the reasons why Chadwick Boseman did not want to disclose his illness is because, well, 1, he needed to keep working. 1. 2, he's a proud alumnus of Howard University. He went to an HBCU. He is a proud African-American male. Do you honestly think that he would have come to any of you organizations and said, hey, I want to help push forward the cause. I want you all to use my name when you have nobody that looks like me on your websites? Go on the top 3 nonprofit organizations for colon cancer and tell me how many African-American males you see. Don't worry, I'll wait. I got time. Today I got time. And that's why I'm so pissed off, is because all this time you want to talk about what you're doing in the African-American community and the initiatives that you're pushing forward. And then I go on and I may see 1 African-American female. I don't see anybody that looks like me. So how am I going to ask for money for your organization when the people that I'm asking are going to look and say, but Sarge, it ain't nobody on there that look like me. There's nobody on there that looks like me, Sarge. So why am I going to give this money? Yes. Do you have people that you use for, advocates and ambassadors and things like that? Yes. But they are not making the decisions where the resources are going. You can't tell me that because I don't see it. You can tell me all day long that this is what we're doing, but until I see it, let me tell you all something. The same thing that I had to tell the young lady that I was talking to today. Optics is everything. And there's no possible way I can go and ask, listen, ain't no way I can go ask my frat brothers for money. There's no possible way I can go ask my frat brothers who are African-American males for money, and they say, B, there is no African-American males that makes the decision. So where is my money going to go? See, that may not mean a lot to some, but it means everything to me and how I feel about the people in my community. So you cannot tell me, and you cannot continue to tell me that something is coming or we're looking to diversify. You've had ample amount of time to diversify, and you have not. Well, we haven't really had any, candidates come through. Really? I'm one. Hell, I would have done it for free. You didn't even have to pay me. Because I don't want anybody else to be like I was at 5:30 a.m. September the 5th, 2017, holding their spouse in their hand while they take their last breath. So I'm going to do any and everything that I can to be an advocate and push forward. But if you don't have anybody that's making the decisions, how can I advocate for you? You want money from the African American community. You want involvement for the African American community, yet you have no African Americans. You can use the hashtag Black Lives Matter, but if you don't have any African Americans that's helping make the decisions, you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. You are part of systemic racism. If you're not going to allow us, and by us, I'm just saying African American males. If you're not going to allow us in the boardrooms or on the boardroom or on the staff to make the decisions in order to get the resources out to the low income communities, then why the hell should I be a part of it? It doesn't make any sense. Let me show y'all something. Let's do this right quick before I get up off of here. You see that? African Americans have the highest rate of mortality as well as the shortest rate of survival for colorectal cancer compared to all racial groups, according to American Cancer Society, which estimates colorectal cancer as the second most common cause of cancer deaths in the United States. African Americans are also said to be more often diagnosed at a younger age, and with the diagnosis at a more advanced stage. Chadwick Boseman, was said to have been diagnosed with colon cancer 4 years ago, and that it had advanced from stage 3 to stage 4 at the time of his death. The United States Preventive Service Task recommends screening for colorectal cancer at starting at age 50, but actually it has been changed to 45. You can now ask your insurance company to pay for your colonoscopy at 50. At 45, not 50, excuse me. It's not an old person's disease like they want to say. It's not that anymore. So you can start at 45. And if you have a history of colon cancer in your family, you can ask for 10 years prior to it being diagnosed. So Mila's oldest daughter will turn 26 next year I take that back. Mila's oldest daughter is 25 now. She is in the age range to get a colonoscopy because Mila actually had cancer at age 35. She was just misdiagnosed. So she's in that window now. So if one of your family members, like one of your immediate family members, like your mom, your grandmom, things like that, grandfather, your father, if they've been diagnosed with colon cancer, you can get screened 10 years prior to the age that they were. So it's time for Jasmine to get a colonoscopy. All right. This recommendation from June 26th is a final research plan that was posted on the site a year ago to invest whether there is clinical evidence going forward to support expanding the screening to 40. Let me read this one more time. African Americans have the highest rate of mortality as well as the shortest rate of survival for colorectal cancer compared to all racial groups. You know what that means, y'all? That means that undetected, undiagnosed, we're dying from colon cancer. Here's the good news. The good news is that colon cancer is 95% preventable if you go and get a colonoscopy. All right? If you go and, like Mila used to say, go and get your butt checked. Go and get your butt checked. And if you go get your butt checks, if you go and get your butt checked, you can start from there. Mila did right. Mila went to the doctor. She was just misdiagnosed. She had a bad physician. And by having a bad physician, that ultimately ended her life. So back to what I was saying, I just wanted to show you all how important it is for the African American community to receive the resources and receive the information and to be able to make these decisions. But these top colon cancer organizations are not, or do not have any African American males sitting in the room saying, okay, wait a minute, let's do this and let's do that. Now, moving forward, I'm going to say this. I was told, and this is what I was told. We have doctors on the staff. We have doctors who are doing the research when it comes to, helping prevent colon cancer. We have all kind of researchers at these universities and at these hospitals. We have all these researchers that's trying to help prevent colon cancer. Brian, we have African American doctors that are doing the work to try to get out there and speak with the African American community and the African American males especially, so no one would end up like Chadwick Boseman. Here's the other issue that I have. I'm speaking on it right now. I told you I had some stuff I need to get off my chest, so let me go ahead and speak on it. For the majority of the people that I know, they don't mind listening to what a doctor has to say. They don't mind listening to the data. They don't mind listening to the medical facts. They don't mind listening to the research. But you know what they want to hear? So how did it affect you? How did it affect your family? Hey, Sarge. Yes. Can you talk to us about colon cancer? Why, yes, I can. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the time that my wife had to go to Mercy Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland to get high-tech surgery where they had to, what they call unzipper from the top of her sternum, from a sternum all the way down to the top of her vagina, open her up, hot wash her organs with chemotherapy because the chemo could not get to them, put them back in, zip her back up, and watch her go through that but survive that part. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the numerous amount of times that I had to sit in the hospital with her, sleeping on a couch, sleeping in a chair, sleeping with my head on the side of the bed just so I could touch her. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the time I was bringing her home from the hospital one day and she stopped and started throwing up because of the chemotherapy? You want to talk about the many nights that I stayed up listening to her crying in pain? Do you want to talk about the time I had to put 2 fentanyl patches, which was 150 milligrams on her because she was in so much pain? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the numerous amount of nights that I've heard her up crying? And she couldn't tell me what was wrong, but she knew that she was dying. Is that what you want to talk about? Because Sarge can talk about it. So when you start telling me about we got doctors and we got researchers, that don't mean nothing to the African American community. You know why? We want to know, what is it like in real life? I don't need you to tell me what your researchers found. I don't need you to tell me the medical data. I need to hear from this survivor, or I need to hear from this caretaker. That's what I need to hear. I need to hear from an African-American male who's going to tell me what's going on. And then so I can look at him and say, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that for my wife. I don't want that for my mother. I don't want that for my grandmother. I don't want that for my grandfather. That is what I don't want, because when you start spewing facts, medical terms, and this, that, and other, you lose them. You know how I know that? Because you lose me. I can only sit there for so long and listen, and I just be like, man, you ain't hitting home with me. Let me hear about your personal experience or somebody that you helped. But you don't have those type of stories, and you don't have those type of, you don't have those type of stories inside of your boardrooms or with your staff, because you don't have African American male representation. So why in the hell are you using Chadwick Boseman, hashtagging Chadwick Boseman, hashtagging Wakanda Forever, hashtagging Black Panther, when you don't have any Black Panthers involved in any decisions? Ain't no King T'Challas. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. I'm upset. And the reason why I'm upset is because after I had that phone call today, I was pacified, or what she thought she was doing was pacifying me and offering me a place on some committee. I don't want that damn committee. I don't want that. You can't pacify me. Also, I didn't come here asking you for no paid position. I don't need your money. I don't need these organizations' money. Not for Brian. You know what I need that organization's money for? To go out into Third Ward and go out into the Fifth Ward and go out to the North Side and go out into Magnolia and go out into Waller and go out into Hempstead or go into Denver Harbor or East End, whatever they call it, or go out into Katy. I need that money so I can go out here and say, hey, brother, come here. You had a colonoscopy, bro? Why you ain't had no colonoscopy? Why you ain't got your butt checked, man? Do you know that we are at risk? Do you know that I lost my wife at 39 years old? She didn't even turn 40. Come here, bro. Come here. Hey, let me show you my grandkids that 2 of them my wife got to meet. These other 2 ain't never get a chance to meet Sugar Mama in person. The only reason they know Sugar Mama is because their parents tell them about it and they see the videos. Come on, let's talk. What's the issue? Call her, your insurance company? Okay, you ain't got no insurance? All right, well, guess what, bro? I got a donation from here to be able to pay for colonoscopies. That's what I need your money for. I don't need your money to pay my bills. I don't need your money to do extravagant type things. I don't need your money for that. I need your money to help my people. Since you don't want to do it and put them in the boardrooms, and since you don't want to do it and put them on staff, I need the money in order to get it done. But guess what? I don't need your money no more. I don't need it. Why? You know what? This is going to sound terrible, but I'm going to say it anyway. So at some sometimes during doing illegal activities, sometimes you just got to cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Sometimes you got to stop dealing with the middleman. Y'all watch Power, right? I got to stop dealing with them little minions and go straight to Ghost. I need to go talk directly to Ghost. That's who I need to talk to. I don't need to talk to the middleman no more. So you 3 organizations, you all keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. I don't need you. I am going to do this thing with myself and with somebody else that I refuse to name right now. You all will see later, but there is a person that is very prominent in the colon cancer community that I am going to work with and work for, to get the message out to our people, to get the message out to, let me stop, not only to just African Americans, but minorities. I use African Americans because, one, Chadwick Boseman was an African American male. He passed away on Friday from this disease that is killing our people. So I don't need your money. I'm going to go straight. I'm finna start begging myself. So y'all do whatever it is you got to do. Put out whatever t-shirts and wristbands and selfie things and all the contacts that you have to get into Congress, this, that, and other. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sit around and ask my people to help me. And eventually, it'll get up to that. But I don't just want to put a hashtag Chadwick Boseman. I don't want to just put a hashtag Wakanda Forever. I don't want to put a hashtag Black Panther. I want to do something to honor Chadwick Boseman. I want to do something to honor my wife who passed away from colon cancer. I want to do my part in helping someone who may have had colon cancer, is a colon cancer survivor, or is dealing with colon cancer right now, or colon cancer has affected their family. And guess what? Even if, listen, from $2 to $2,000, that's going to go towards whatever issue and problem that's being done in the colon cancer community. Mila's Journey Foundation. I personally take accountability for not doing more with that. That is on me. I allowed myself to get too busy. I allowed myself to allow too many other things to go on in my life. And that went on the back burner. No more. No more. Mila's Journey Foundation will be up and running by the second week of September. I will have the website up and running. I will let you all know everything that I'm doing. Everything. Y'all see this shirt I got on, right? Y'all remember this cause? Let me put it up a little higher. Y'all remember this cause, right? Y'all see me with the gown with the booty out and pushing the wheelchair and things like that, right? Am I doing it this way? The wheelchair. You see that this 5K and 50, that means something. Do you know what that means? That means I'm going to do a 5K in all 50 states to bring awareness to colon cancer, to bring awareness to mental health issues that our veterans are going through. Veterans, by the way, call the VA. Tell them you need a colonoscopy. You can get it. The VA will pay for it, especially now. I will not allow this. I will not allow my wife's name to go in vain. And I also will not allow people to use and pillage my people. I will not allow you to come and use my community and use the death of an African-American male as a fundraiser. Who the hell y'all think I am? You should have known that this was coming when you found out, hey, Brown wants to talk to you. You should have known this when I was throwing out all them warning shots that this was coming. But instead of going on, I gave you an opportunity. I gave you an opportunity to talk to me. And while I will say this, there are a lot of good people who work in those organizations. Do not get me wrong. There's a lot of good people that work in those organizations. There's a lot of good people who advocate for those organizations. And just ain't none of us making the decisions on when they get this $25,000 grant or when they get this $50,000 donation. And you could tell me all day that we're using it to help health disparities. We're using it so it can go towards the African-American community. You could tell me that all day. I need to hear from an African-American that was sitting in there. It's so bad that one website got pretty much majority white men, white women, maybe one or two Hispanic, maybe one black female. And then at the end, it's the dogs. And I'm saying to myself, you got the dogs on the website. Where the men? Where the black men? I don't see them. Okay, y'all hide them or something? Where the black men? Another organization told me that African Americans haven't really applied to be on the staff. Really? Because I personally know someone who left your staff and that allowed a job opening or somebody to replace him. He left, and then months later, he came back and got his same job again. When that job was open, did you try to recruit African American males? No, you didn't. So there's no possible way you can keep telling me about what you did and what you've done in the past and all of this, and you still, at the end of the day, you know what you still have to tell me? But Brian, you're right. We don't have any African American males on the board or on the staff. All that other stuff sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. All that other stuff sound like want to me. That's it. I can no longer sit back and allow this to happen to my people. And I can no longer sit back and allow Chadwick Boseman to be used as a marketing tool for donations. I cannot sit back and let the spirit of the Black Panther be abused by you all. He didn't die. He didn't reveal his diagnosis to some of you all, some of you organizations, for a reason. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. He did not come to you all for a reason. Was nowhere, no representation. No representation. You can use the hashtag Black Lives Matter, but you also got to put in the work so that Black lives can matter. And if you're truly trying to save our people, I'm going to tell you exactly what I told that woman today. You ain't got to hire me. I don't know. You got to give me the job. I'm cool with that. Give somebody the job, though. You don't have to give it to me. I'm not asking for your money, but give it to somebody. Because you can't keep going into these African-American communities and using our African-American women to talk to the African-American males, because you know that we will listen to our African-American women. We'll listen to our Black queens and do what they say do. We'll do it. But by the same token, we also need a brother to come through there and be like, hey, man, come here. Let me holler at you for a second, bro. I've never seen the movement so strong now as far as getting the word out about how much you care about African Americans and African American males, as I've seen now that that it's been revealed that Chadwick Boseman passed away from colon cancer. Go to your top colon cancer. Go to your top colon cancer organizations' websites. Go to their social media pages. Look past the Black Lives Matter hashtag. Look past the We Support Black Lives Matter. Look past all of that. We're here for you. Look past all of that and then just look and see, well, what are y'all actually doing? I went on a tangent. I did. But if somebody doesn't stand up and say something, and for some of you all would never had a clue that this was going on. I had a person tell me, I said, how long have you been with it? How long has the company been around? Well, the company's been around 15 years, but I've only been with the company since 2011. Well, it's 2020. It's 2020. Y'all ain't had no Black people in the 9 years you've been there. And you're working on it though. When they get to start saying we're working on it, we're trying to be more diversified, what's taking you so long? What's taking you so long to be diversified? Are you here to tell me that there's no qualified Black candidates to African American males to do this? Last thing, and I'm gonna get up out of here. This is how people lose out on their opportunities. The person I was talking to today, I said, hey, this one's for free. The next one's going to cost you. This consultation that I'm about to give you now, so you won't make the same mistake, this one is for free. The next time, it's going to cost you. Sarge. African-American male. Sarge. United States veteran. Sarge. Advocate for mental health. Sarge. Widower. Sarge. Wife passed away from colon cancer. Sarge. Part of the media. Sarge. Has a small amount, but enough influence on social media to get the word out, to spread the word about colon cancer awareness, and especially in the African American communities. Sarge. all this at your disposal, all this hold on, it gets better. Came to you 2 years ago and said, you need more diversity. Nobody's going to listen if you don't have no diversity, if you're trying to reach the African American community. It's one person. Went to the next person who was like the third in command. You're not going to be able to reach the African American community if you don't have any diversity. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something I know. My people are not going to listen to just any and everybody. And since you're using Chadwick Boseman, my people just ain't gonna listen to any and every colonizer. You take that for what you want. I told you this 2 years ago. I told you, here I am. Use me. You can use me. I can't be the smartest person in the room, or maybe I can, and just act like I'm not. You got Sarge there at your disposal. At any point in time, do you think it would have hurt to say, Sarge, can I talk to you for a second? Would you be willing to take an unpaid staff position in order for us to get this out? And if the position if the available funds become necessary and later on we could pay you, we will. You know what Sarge would have said? Because I know Sarge personally. You know what Sarge would have said? Yeah. What you need me to do? I got you. Let me in on the decisions, because there's one thing to say, I've been in the community. There's one thing to say I've been around people who's been in the community. I've been around Black men. Like I've worked with them. I've been around. I kind of know what they want. And it's another thing to say, no, I know what to do. I'm a Black man. I know what to do. I know exactly what needs to be done to get the African American community involved in getting the colonoscopies and using the preventative measures so we won't keep losing people to colon cancer. I know. I got you. Don't worry about it. All I require is let me sit in the room so I can be a voice. That's what they don't understand. It isn't so much about making the decisions where the resources are allocated. It's about having a voice in the room, which is what all African Americans are fighting for now, which is what these athletes are fighting for now. If it has never been clear to you before, let it be clear now. This is what these athletes are fighting for. They want a voice. And in these colon cancer organizations, there is no voice. One voice out of 25 is not good enough. And not having any African American males is not good enough. That's okay though. Watch what Mila's Journey Foundation about to do. I'm gonna keep y'all abreast, and I'm gonna show you all what I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. Hold Big Sarge accountable. Y'all mark this down. Write this down. Hold me accountable. Say, Sarge, you're slipping. What you doing what you doing for the foundation, Sarge? What you doing to help our community get checked, Sarge? What you doing in the colon cancer community, Sarge? I see what you're doing over here, and I see what you're doing for mental health. When last time you got into the community, or when the last time you helped in that? When last time you did a 5K, Sarge, to bring awareness? Hold me accountable. Just like I'm holding those other organizations. You ain't got to ever pick up the phone to call Sarge. I'm talking to these organizations. You ain't got to pick up the phone to call me. You ain't got to pick up you don't have to pick up the phone to call me. You don't have to send me any emails. You don't have to contact me on social media. Show me. Let me go to your website one day and say, well, hot damn, look at that. There go a Black man in this organization. That's all Martin Luther King wanted to do was make change. He didn't say it had to be for him. He wanted to be for everybody. That's all I want. I just want some change. I just want, if you're gonna use my people as a proper a way to get donations, then you give us a voice. If not, take it down. That's all I can tell you. If not, just take it down. Wakanda forever.